Hi. Hello. Welcome to my Insta live session. Today we are having the Insta live at 3 p.m. This month going forward we will be having all our live sessions during 3 p.m. Wednesday because I am having some other classes at 9 p.m. So welcome you all for this live session once again. Hi mommies, hi lovelies, how are you all doing? This live session topic which I have chosen is mindful parenting. Keeping that the schools have been reopened and you all are in a condition to send your kids back to school, and also results of NEET and other 12th exams, other engineering exams results have been released, and your kids or your children may be in a position to get into college also. So I thought it is the right time to discuss about mindful parenting, which may help the moms to deal with their kids better. So while discussing about mindful parenting, I want to discuss I want to stress upon two important things. One is mindfulness practices as a mom. How you have to practice mindfulness in your daily life to be more present for your kids. And the second aspect is how to cultivate or how to inculcate mindfulness in your children or your kids. And together, put this together, mindfulness as a mom plus mindfulness for your kids put together is called as mindful parenting. So before getting into the actual discussion of mindful parenting today, let me introduce myself to those who are not knowing me. I am Vasantha Vivek, an engineering college professor turned into a blogger and now certified mindfulness-based life coach. And I am a mom of 18 years boy who is doing his engineering graduation at Amrita University. Being a mom of 18 years old boy, I have quite a couple of years as experience in dealing with the kids. And to mention specially, my son was a naughty boy when he was young, when he was a toddler, and also when he was at his school up to some 6th standard. He was a very naughty, mischievous boy, and he is also a talkative boy at that time. And whenever we go out, he will do something naughty. And most of our friends and most of our relatives will say that your son is so naughty and your son is so active, and he is doing so many kinds of mischievous things, and he is asking so many kinds of questions, and he is always in a talking mode. So I felt sometime embarrassed to hear those commands. And also we should be very attentive and we should be very cautious in looking after him, in watching him whenever we go outside, or otherwise he will do something wrong, or he will do something mistakenly which could be a big disaster. Say for example, one day we went to a grocery shop in South Africa. When we were at South Africa, he was around his 5th standard, I think so, and we went to a grocery shop. In that shop, all the oil containers will be in oil will be in a glass containers, glass bottles. He was running here and there, and I was managing him. But suddenly he pulled one rack. In that rack, they kept all the oil bottles which are glass bottles. When he pulled the rack down, all the oil bottles in that rack, say maybe some 50 bottles of oil fell down, and all the bottles got cracked and all the oils spilled out. And we were at a very embarrassed condition, and we sought some kind of apology to the grocery managers and all, but there the treatment was very different. If this has happened in our country, the treatment will be very different, and so many of the shopkeepers and so many of the workers at the shop will shout at us and also my son. But there the scenario was a very different one. They apologized with us that they have not been very careful of having, if any kid is there, some staff should be there to attend them, to look after them. So we were missing that part. So it's our mistake. You please check your son whether he has any kind of hurt, or if he has had any kind of glass pieces in his legs or anything like that. They apologized us. So this situation made us to realize that we have to teach my son the very foundation of being present in the present moment. So at that time, from that time onwards, I started educating my son about various aspects, how he has to behave outside and how he has to behave inside, and how he have to behave with others, and also how he has to have a better connection with himself. So why I am narrating all these incidents is that I have a couple of experience with my son who was a very naughty and mischievous boy, and mostly he has been identified as a hyperactive kid. He could not remain in one work for a longer time. He used to get bored easily, and he is in a high energy always, and he wants to explore each and everything, and he will be of questions, and we should have high patience to answer him. So this made me to explore more into mindful parenting, and by that time onwards I am inculcating mindful parenting in my journey with him, and also I am coaching many moms, my friends, my relatives, and many other moms how to bring mindful parenting into your life. Are you interested to know more about mindful parenting? If you are there, please put in comments how you are excited to know about mindful parenting. So before getting into the actual core discussion of mindful parenting, let me ask you one question. Do you know your kids well? You may wonder, what is this question? I will be aware of my kids. Always we will be aware of our kids. Why she is asking like that? But my question, I am repeating my question. Do you aware of your kids well? So let me ask you some set of questions, and you analyze yourself whether you are knowing answers for these questions, or otherwise try to get answers for these questions from your kids or children. So let me list out some of the questions here. Who is your kid's best friend? And who is your kid's not so favorite person in class? And who is your kid's best teacher? Which teacher or which ma'am or which sir he or she likes the most? Or which teacher or which sir or which ma'am he is not more close to? What are the fears of your kids or children? What are your most favorite things of your kids? And what's your kids' nickname at school? And which subject does your kid like the most? And which movie does your kid like? Which kind of movie does your kid like? And what is one quality does he or she likes most in you as a mom and in his or her dad? Or what is one quality that he or she dislikes in you as a mom or as a dad? And what's your kid's ambition in life? And what's your kid's energy drainers and energy givers? What are the various kinds of activities that gives energy to your kids, and what are the different kinds of activities that drain energy from your kid? So if you have answered most of these questions, I really appreciate that you are doing your best. Suppose if you are not able to answer many of these questions which I have posed to you, don't worry, you are also a wonderful mom or you are also a wonderful dad, but still you have to get connected with your kid more. So let me help you to connect with your kid or your child more by going through this discussion on mindful parenting. The mindful parenting, I have one parenting mantra which depicts the core of mindful parenting. My parenting mantra is raise my words rather than raising my voice. Please listen to it carefully once again. My parenting mantra is raising my words rather than raising my voice. So there is a beautiful saying that the rain only brings flowers and not the thunder. So what it means, the rain water makes the plants to bloom, not the thunder. The same way, your voice is not going to make your kids bloom, but your words have so much power. So be very cautious in selecting your words for communication with your kid or your child. So raise your standard and raise your choice of words rather than raising your voice. Don't shout and don't give instructions. Kids will not be willing to listen to instructions, and kids will not be willing to listen to shouting. But kids will certainly listen if we use right choice of words. And hence my parenting mantra is raising your words rather than raising your voice. So are you clear with the so far discussion? I discussed why I am the right person to talk about mindful parenting and the various things which I have faced with my son while raising him, and my parenting mantra. What is mindful parenting? Mindful parenting is nothing but having mindfulness as a mom plus inculcating mindfulness to your kids. Both put together is called as mindful parenting. Are you clear so far? Shall I move for the next discussion? So the next discussion is what is mindful parenting. Let us give a simple definition for mindful parenting. Mindful parenting is being with your kid or being present for your kids at the moment without judgment or without any criticism. So you should be there for your kids whenever they demand you or whenever they need you at the most. That kind of fully 100% present with your kids without any distraction, without any judgment or without any criticism is called as mindful parenting. And for this mindful parenting, I am going to give you some kind of 10 tips. There are so many ways in which you can practice mindfulness as a mom, and you can introduce mindfulness to your kids. But in this live session, I would like to emphasize on 5 different hacks to bring mindful parenting into your parenting journey. Are you ready? Are you excited to hear about the mindful parenting tips? If you are excited, please show it in the comments. First, let me list down 10 simple tips for mindful parenting or 10 simple hacks to raise your kids mindfully. The first tip is appreciate more and appreciate often. Second tip is tell bedtime stories or create a ritual to connect with your kid. Third is listen mindfully. Fourth one is stop praising your children. Fifth one is teach by example. Sixth one is maintain a family happy journal. And seventh one is practice gratitude together. And eighth one is enjoy parenting happily. And ninth one is start practicing mindfulness with your kid, or start practicing mindfulness meditation together. And last one, the 10th tip or 10th hack is that celebrate festivals with your kids and giving them their meanings and their importance. So now let me explain about these 10 simple hacks of mindful parenting in detail. The first tip which I have given is appreciate more and appreciate often. So this tip is very important one. All of us as human beings are wanting for appreciation. We need appreciation for our growth, and we expect appreciation for all the tasks which we are doing or for all the deeds which we are doing. Even as an adult, we need appreciation in our work. We need appreciation in our house. We need appreciation from our partner. We need appreciation from our friends and relatives. So think about the kids. They depend on parents mostly. So kids or children will expect appreciation from their parents. So you try to appreciate them more and try to appreciate them often. If your kid has done something marvelous in school, or if he did some kind of random kindness activities, or if your kid has done anything super, you try to appreciate your kids. And you try to appreciate the skills and talents of your kids and encourage your kids to participate in competitions, contests, or encourage your kids to communicate with others in a pleasant manner. So appreciation make your kids build your kids self-worth or self-esteem. So whenever your kids receive appreciation, they know that they have to also reciprocate those appreciation to others. So whenever they find something remarkable with their friends, or something interesting, something happy with their teachers or others, then they will have the habit of appreciating them. When they receive appreciation, they will be ready to give appreciation also. That is the first tip. And the second tip is tell bedtime stories to them, or otherwise create a ritual to connect with your kids. So when I take my son as an example, I used to tell him bedtime stories till he was 13. We used that time before bed as our connecting time. So I used to tell him so many stories from rituals, from our traditions, or otherwise some kind of science fiction stories, some kind of imaginary stories created by me. And those stories, with those stories, I try to imbibe all the values, and also I try to imbibe all our traditional cultures through stories, and I would impart those values and culture to him. So he also used to raise so many questions during our story time, which helps him to get all his doubts cleared and get all his queries cleared. And also that bedtime stories is a good connection between me and my son. So if your kids are smaller kids, and if your kids are of less age, and if your kids are in school, then you can use this tip well. You can tell them bedtime stories so that you can get a better connection. When the kids grow up, when my son started growing up, when he entered into 11, 12, 13, he is not interested in those kind of traditional stories. He wanted to hear more about science-based stories. So I started exploring sci-fi stories, and I used to tell him the science fiction stories. And also he is more interested into the space kind of thing, galaxy, cosmos, planets, and all those things. He will be very interested. So I changed the bedtime stories into another kind of ritual, that every day I will say one science fact, and together with that science fact, I will tell one science fiction story, and also I will leave him with one mind-blowing, thought-provoking question related to science. So this way, I kindled the curiosity of my son, so that he can explore by himself to read and to study more. And nowadays, when my son visits me from his hostel, he is telling me many stories now during our bedtime. And I should really be amazed of the knowledge what he is having now about the various aspects. So this is an important tip to be a mindful parent. Introduce stories to your kids if they are smaller kids, or otherwise if they are bigger kids, you create a ritual to get better connected with your kid. The third tip is listen mindfully. So whenever your kid comes to you for any matter, listen to him or her mindfully. Don't, even if you spend some 10 minutes with your kid, then that 10 minutes, if you do it mindfully, it's going to be a quality time with your kid. At the start of my parenting journey, I was working as a professor in an engineering college. So usually I will have a mother guilt, that I am not able to spend much time with my son. But later on, I realized that instead of going on a mom guilt of not spending more time with my son, why don't I spend my time quality? Why don't me spend a quality time with my son? from that time onwards, whenever I am with my son, I try to be mindfully present with him without any distraction. One rule in our house is that no mobiles are allowed in our dining table. So any of us, either myself, my spouse, or my son, none of us are allowed to bring our mobile phone to our dining table. So whenever we eat together, we spend time together by discussing the day, how our day went, what all are happened in our day, whom all we met during that day. So this way, listening mindfully helps your children to open out with you. And another thing which I want to mention here is that when my son was in a school, always when he returns from the school, he will be chatting with me for 10 minutes non-stoppingly. He would say each and everything that happened in his school. Right from the entering into the school and getting back to home, he will narrate everything to me nearly about 10 to 15 minutes. He is a chatterbox like me. So this had a better connection between me and my son. The same way my son used to tell everything that is happening in his college to me still now. So this is a way of our kids. So this gives, listening mindfully to your kids gives assurance, guarantee to your kids that you are their protector and you are there to help them, help their struggles and difficulties. So that, moving on to the next tip, fourth tip, stop praising your children. So you may wonder, what is that? First tip, she said that appreciate more, appreciate often. Now she is saying that stop praising your kids. What I am saying is that don't praise your kid, don't praise your children, don't praise your son or daughter, but try to encourage them. Replace your praise with encouragement. Praise will lead to ego, whereas encouragement will lead to self-esteem. Please note the difference between these two. Don't praise their qualities, don't praise their nature, but try to encourage their activity, attitude, and try to encourage their behavior, their activity. There is a huge difference in these two. Try to encourage them, not to praise them. As I always say, praise leads to ego, whereas encouragement leads to self-esteem. I will clearly explain about this with an example. Suppose if your son has or if your daughter has did some kind of good work. Suppose if your son or daughter has scored 100 centum in maths, how will you appreciate them? How will you praise them? Usually we will be praising as, I am so proud of you. You have got centum. So I am really proud of you. Keep it up. This is the way we usually praise them. But instead of praising them for getting 100% or centum in maths, try to encourage their efforts of getting that centum, which means that try to replace the statement, I am proud of you getting centum, as an encouragement statement like this. You deserve this, my dear son, for all your hard work and efforts. You are deserving this for your hard efforts and hard working. So try to note the difference between these two. The first one is praise. You are not giving importance to his behavior or his hard work, but instead you are focusing on the outcome, that is centum. But encouragement focuses not the outcome, but encouragement focuses on the inner quality, inner behavior of your child, which is going to long last than praising. Are you getting the difference, guys? Praising and encouragement. The next tip is going to be teach by example. So nowadays, the kids are closely listening to us as parents. If you put any restriction to your kid that you should not use a screen or you should not use mobile, and if they see you always with a mobile in your hand, what your kid will think? Will your kid have any kind of respect on your words? No, certainly not. So try to be the role model for your kids. You should practice what you tell them. That is the better way to be an example or to be a role model for your kid. So you try, always they learn from us. So whenever you are around the kids, try to be mindfully present with your kids. Try to avoid mobiles and try to avoid some kind of bad words, or try not to shout, yell at home. So all these qualities of you will certainly inculcate those superb qualities with your kids also. So try to teach by example. Try to go to bed by in a fixed time, and try to do some physical activity like yoga, exercise, walking, so that your kids will also be interested to have those kind of activities for them also. My humble request for all you moms is that try to introduce a reading habit to your kids. Nowadays, the kids are lacking reading habit. What I say is encourage them to read books, physical books, not the YouTube videos or not anything, other articles from the internet or from mobiles, Kindle, like that. Try to encourage your kids for reading physical books. It is going to help your kids to develop self-esteem, and also it is going to help your kids in their personality development. For this, you have to be a reader first. So that way, by being an example or by being a role model, you can inspire your kids or children to do so. And the sixth tip is that maintain a happy family journal. So this you might have heard so many times. I will be repeating this in many of my lives, so that we used to have a happy family journal. A journal or a notebook or a diary for all the three of us. We have to write all our happy moments, all the things which happened in our day-to-day life, and the appreciation and compliments which we received, and all our happy moments we would record in that happy family happy journal, one common journal in which we will be writing, all the three of us will be writing into that journal. And whenever we feel low, or otherwise whenever I had some kind of a misunderstanding with my son, then I will take that happy family journal and I will go through with that. So which gives me some kind of sweet memories, so that I can be very forgivable with my son. So the same way he can also go through that family happy journal to cherish all those sweet memories. So it's a good way of connecting with our children. Try to have a happy family journal for yours. That family happy journal I am having at my native place. So if I go to my native place and get that journal, I will be happy to share or show that journal to you in one of my next future lives. How we have maintained that journal, so that still whenever I look into that journal, I feel so happy of all those moments. As a kid, how my son has felt, and what are all the thoughts which were going in my son's mind during that time. So now he has gone to college, and we have stopped that maintaining that happy family journal, but it is a good memory and it is a good collection for us. And the next tip which I would suggest is practice gratitude together. Introduce gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool, powerful mindfulness tool, which can be practiced by yourself and which can be introduced to your kids also. Try to practice gratitude together. You have an assigned fixed time in your day, and try to recollect 3 things you are grateful for. You can say 3 things which you are grateful for in that day, and you can ask your kids to say 3 things they are grateful for. Initially, your kids will not open out. They will say, oh, for what I am grateful? I am not grateful for anything. Nowadays, the kids are not having gratitude for anything. They think that everything is available to them. But you have, as a parent, you have the responsibility to educate your kids that all these luxury items, all these things are coming with the hard work and effort of both of you as a parent. So you have to introduce gratefulness to your kids. So by practicing gratitude, the kids will bloom beautifully. So I want to insist another one thing. I want to recollect another one memory from my son when he was a child. We used to create some kind of sweet cards. That is, you look so beautiful, you are a lucky person. We should make it handmade cards with the sketches, drawings, and stickers. We will create so many kind of thank you cards or appreciation cards or lovely cards, and my son will distribute those cards when he was waiting at the bus stop for his school bus. So everyone, he will distribute to those cards to his friends, and also to the moms and dads, and also to the helpers, school helpers, conductors, or somebody who are coming in the school bus. And everyone will really feel so happy, and they will bless my son. You kid, you stay happy for forever. So seeing that blessings from others, as a mother, I had tears in my eyes. I hope you can relate with me how wonderful it would be if you get blessings for your kids from others. So this is the way of practicing gratitude together. And the next tip is enjoy parenting happily. So in this case, parenting is not a video game. You don't have any button to reverse your parenting, or to reverse your life, or to fast forward your life, or to pass your life. You have to do this parenting whether you are willing or not willing. So in that case, why you are making your parenting so stressful? Make your parenting happy. That's my humble request. You try to find happy moments in parenting. If you have any difficulties in happy parenting, please DM me. I am more than happy to help you with my mindfulness and meditation practices, which will really help you to reduce your stress, depression, and your anxiety, and to make you calm down. And the 9th tip is that do meditation together. So meditation is not a costly thing, or meditation is not an expensive thing. You can do meditation at any time, anywhere. So try to do some kind of a simple meditation. So for kids, you can introduce a simple kind of meditation as mindful walking, or otherwise you can introduce breath watch. Just for 1 minute, you can ask your kids to notice their breath. And also you can ask your kids to do some mindful coloring. Coloring is the best tool to remain in the present moment, to calm down your kids. Whenever you kids feel anxious, or whenever you kids feel bored, or whenever you kids feel overwhelmed, you can go for coloring. Coloring, mindful coloring is a best tool to make your kids calming down and to make your kids present in the present moment. So by the, you can do simple kind of meditation, and there are so many kinds of meditation or simple mindfulness practices for kids. For any help for this also, you can DM me. I would be happy to help you with various mindfulness tips to practice with your kids. And the last tip for mindful parenting is celebrate festivals with your kids. So this one I want to emphasize more. Our Hindu tradition is having so many things which are engraved in our practices, in our lifetime practices. They have not treated mindfulness separately. They have engraved mindfulness in all our traditions and in all our practices. So we as parents have the responsibility to introduce those festivals, and you have to explain all the importance and the way in which the mindfulness, the way in which the festivals are celebrated, why it is being celebrated, what is the significance of that celebration, or what is the significance of that festival. All these things which you have to educate your child so that they will enjoy festivals and they will also enjoy our traditions, our culture. So it's a high time we as parents should take this responsibility to our shoulders to make our kids understand our religion and understand our culture better. So being a mindful parent, you can do this. I am damn sure that you can do this. So let me summarize now what are the 10 tips which I have listed to practice mindful parenting. The first tip is appreciate more and appreciate often. Second tip is tell bedtime stories, or otherwise create a ritual to connect with your kid better. And third tip is listen mindfully. Fourth tip is stop praising your children. And fifth tip is teach by example. And sixth tip is maintain a family happy journal. And the next tip is practice gratitude together. Eighth tip is enjoy parenting happily. Ninth tip is do meditation together. And 10th tip is celebrate festivals with its significance and importance. So in today's discussion, we have discussed why I am the right person to tell you about mindful parenting and my relation with my son and my experiences of raising him as a naughty and overactive child. And also we have discussed what mindful parenting means and my happy parenting mantra. What is my happy parenting mantra? And I have discussed about 10 simple tips for mindful parenting. Do you have any queries? If you have any queries, you can put in the comments and I will be able to help you, or I will be able to answer your queries. Hope this session you find it useful. If you are having any queries or any doubts or any suggestion you need, you please put in the comments and I will be able to help you. Thanks, Mindful Motherhood Sri Vidya, for your lovely comment. At this space, I want to congratulate you, Vidya, for being a sloga coach, and you are doing a wonderful job of introducing the kids with various kinds of simple slogas and mantras. I really appreciate you. Welcome, Harita. You can also check my blog. Hi, Harita. You can also check my blog, mysweetnothings.in, in which I have written so many articles about mindfulness, mindful parenting, and I also have a series of mindfulness, A to Z on mindfulness. And also I have another series as 7 days mindfulness for busy moms. So you can check my blog for more mindfulness tips and hacks on parenting. And I do mindfulness one-on-one intensive sessions, and also I am handling personalized mindfulness one-on-one coaching for women, in which I mainly stress upon mindful parenting, taking 100% responsibility and overcoming all your limiting beliefs, and how to live your life with mindfulness tools and techniques. If you feel called to, just DM me. I am more than happy to help you. Thanks for attending this live session. And we will meet once again with another thought-provoking and mind-blowing topic. Until then, stay happy, stay mindful. Bye. See you next week. Bye-bye.